Let's enhance that example using try and except to continue to prompt the user for an integer until they give us a valid integer. So I want to prompt the user for an integer, and if this statement fails, the except clause will execute. But I want to keep doing this over and over. And then as soon as they've entered a valid integer, line 6 will execute, and then line 8. So to do that, I'm going to put my try except into a while. And what I'm going to say is while true. And true, again, is a Boolean value, and the statements within the while block will execute as long as this is true. So the way I've written it, it should continue on forever. So we will need a way to break out of this loop. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to try to read in an integer. If it's invalid, our except statement will execute, and then it'll go back up to the loop on line 1, and then it'll try again. Once they've entered a valid integer, we want to go ahead and break out of the loop. So break is a keyword that will cause the flow to exit the loop regardless of what the condition is. So let's go ahead and try this. Enter an integer, A. Invalid, not an integer. Enter integer, 8.9. Not an integer. Cat, not an integer. 10. You entered 10. So you can see that this loop continued to execute over and over, prompting our user to enter an integer and then printing an error message when they didn't. As soon as they did enter a valid integer, the flow went to line 4 instead of the except statement and broke out of that loop. Then the statement on line 8 was executed, and then the statement on line 10.